Hi, welcome to Local Matters. Today I have with me two special women who have dedicated a lot of their time and their energy to a very special cause, one that touches all of us in one way or another. And I'd like to introduce to you Carrie Shadowitz of the Willamette Valley Cancer Foundation and Rosemary Davis, the past chair of the foundation. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And I know, Rosemary, many people watching today also recognize you as the past CEO of the Willamette Valley Hospital. Is that right?
That is correct.
For a number of years, as I remember.
22. 22.
Wow. Well, thank you for that service to our community. Well, let's go back a ways and talk about how did our hospital come to be? What year was it, and how did that happen?
So I came to McMinnville in 1994 for the sole purpose of building the replacement facility. For those of you who remember, the old hospital, McMinnville Community Hospital, was located where Walgreens is now located. Couldn't build it to expand. It was far too old structurally. So the plan was to do a complete replacement facility at the location on Highway 18. We occupied that hospital in 1996. And at the time, we didn't add a cancer center because there wasn't enough need from the standpoint of the physicians and the number of patients that they were treating. But less than 10 years later, that all changed. So the doctors literally came to myself and said, we are at a point now where our patients want to be treated locally. We would very much support that. And thus began the construction of at the time, it was about $10 million cancer center, named originally the Willamette Valley Cancer Center, renamed just a couple of years ago for Dr. Joe Hoover, who was one of our general surgeons that his whole career he treated cancer in this area.
So the cancer center was built, and at the same time, you started forming the foundation. Two different things. And what was the purpose of the foundation?
So one of our general surgeons, who also treated a lot of cancer, came from Richmond, Virginia. His name was Dr. Eric Swinson. And he and Dr. Hoover came to me and felt like if we were going to be treating cancer patients locally, that we needed to be prepared to assist them both from a financial standpoint if they needed it, but also the psychosocial standpoint of the needs of someone who's fighting for their life. So long story short, I connected with that Cancer Foundation in Richmond, Virginia, and from that model, we began the legal task of forming our own 501c3, which we completed just about the same time we were starting to treat cancer patients. So we were able to begin financial assistance early on.
So let's talk a little bit more about that umbrella that you built with this foundation. Financial assistance. Maybe Carrie, fill us in on some of the other things that the foundation does besides financial assistance.
Well, we offer children's education programs on cancer prevention. So we will go into local schools that are in the counties that we serve. We also do youth groups. We've done after-school programs. We've done summer camps, but that program includes going into those schools and teaching about what tobacco use does and working with those kids by using modules and things like mouths and tongues and, really talking to them about the chemicals that are in cigarettes or spit tobacco. And then we also share with them information on sun exposure and why sunscreen is important and why we do need to protect our skin. And the ages that we work with with those particular programs are usually around the ages of 6 through, I believe it's around 11. And we've had some really good outcomes over the years altogether in offering that program. We're probably at a little over 2,000 students that we've been able to reach and share our cancer prevention programs with.
So did I do my math right? 1st through 5th grade. You're going to first graders and you're telling them about smoking and the problems that it can cause and sun exposure. So you have different programs for each year. Do you come back? Maybe the kids will see you once a year talking about these things, and you have different programs for each grade?
So what we do is we are actually go 3 times a year. So we do 3 6-week stints actually in the schools. And so the first 6 week would be like in November, strictly talking to all the students about the tobacco use. And then we also have a healthy eating habits and exercise and why that's important for your body. And then in April, May, we do the sun exposure. So we always need to switch up the programs and change them. And of course, at different age levels, you need to present material that is applicable to that age group. And so we definitely constantly are changing. This last year, the most fun was, of course, our sun exposure, and the reason why is this year we were able to get some UVB beads, and the children were able with that to make these bracelets. Mm-hmm. And the beads simulated their skin, and when they would go outside with the bracelet, immediately the bracelets, the little beads change colors. And so for them, it was tangible for them to see that it's changing color. The sun is making it change color. And then in that we incorporate the piece on why the sunscreen is important. And we talk to them, if you don't have sunscreen, what are some other things that you can do? And you get some pretty creative answers, which is pretty adorable. But we talk to them about the shade or long sleeves or an umbrella. I mean, it's just really been a very enjoyable, it's one of my favorite programs that we do, just because I think maybe that time of year is the kids are getting ready for summer.
Baseball,
and,
softball.
We're
outside.
hitting them, yes, we're hitting them at a time when they know that, I am outside more, and we talk about when they're swimming. And so that was, we'll be gearing up in October to start over our tobacco cessation program. And, from a grant that we just received from the Spirit Mountain Community Fund, we will be using those funds to pay for materials for our tobacco cessation program. So we're in the process right now of purchasing more equipment, because our program has grown and the number of children that we're reaching has grown. So we need more hands-on tools for them to play with when we talk about what tobacco really does to our bodies.
When you talked about sun exposure, it reminded me of a questionnaire I just filled out. I was getting evaluated for skin cancer likelihood, and one of the questions was, do you seek shade? And it's just a simple question, and I do that. Whenever I'm out on the sidewalk and I'm going to pause, I look for a tree to stand, in the shade. And I think that's a good thing to teach and have it be a lifetime habit. Just a simple thing like that. Now, you've mentioned 3 things: sun exposure, smoking, and physical activity. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a cancer foundation. I kind of get smoking and sun exposure, but now tell me about physical activity. Why is that part of your curriculum?
The reason why physical activity became part of our curriculum is because our bodies are a machine that needs to be moved. I know you've heard the commercial, "A body in motion stays in motion." When we talk about children, a lot of their activities these days are more stationary, and they're not getting as much exercise, and our bodies need that exercise and that movement to be healthy. And when we look at our programs of wanting to teach something that's about being healthy and helping your body stay healthy, we get into those healthy eating habits, and we talk about those vegetables and those proteins, and then we do some comparisons with them on why sugar intake isn't good for you, and really helping them make decisions of how much sugar should I really be intaking in a day.
And there continues to be more and more data that's coming out that shows that healthy eating habits do reduce the chance for some types of cancer, whether it's your broccoli or your natural nuts, or there's all kinds of studies that have been
The greens.
brought forward and continue to be brought. So if you can plant that early on with the kids, in support of what the schools are doing with their dietary programs and what the parents are doing, it's just one more way to get that message across. Start young and eat right.
It was really interesting in the healthy eating habits and exercise that we do in January and February with the kids. We went in with, we picked out all these soft drinks, did the research, how much sugar was in each one of the soft drinks. And it could have been juice, soft drinks, of course, caffeine drinks, a whole variety of, power drinks, all of that. And we did 13 different, of course, we had our water. And then each bag had the exact amount of sugar that was in one of those servings of each one of those drinks.
Oh, in granulated form.
Yes.
You could see
you
how
could
much
see
sugar.
the sugar.
I bet it was amazing.
And then
It is.
it was
It is.
amazing. And the kids were really surprised.
So were some of the adults.
Yeah.
So
And it was really cool because these children are picking out, they get to match how much sugar is in this drink, and how many of those do I really have a day. And it was just really interesting to see them pair that up and be surprised when they saw which one really had the most sugar that they didn't expect. And it helped them rethink that. And it was like, maybe that's why Mom says, you've already had enough sugar today, that kind of thing. But and it's fun to them, because they get to play with these containers and match them to the puzzle, what goes with what.
So this is about cancer prevention. You treat people with cancer and you want to have less of them. So you go out and do this education. Now, I just thought of a phrase I've heard recently. Maybe you've heard it too. Sitting is the new smoking. Have you heard that?
Yes.
That being sedentary, that we should stand up at least every hour and walk around and get the blood moving for the reasons you're talking about, that a healthier lifestyle, a more active lifestyle prevents cancer. So, great. So you've expanded your education recently. You're going to expand. You're in Yamhill, Tillamook,
And Lincoln County.
and Lincoln counties, and you're expanding your education. Is that right?
So we're expanding, we've had the opportunity to expand the education program into Lincoln County. And so we've been able to do some outreach, and we've been working with the Newport Parks and Rec. And this last summer, we were able to go in and do our sun exposure and our tobacco program all in one in the kids camp. And it was a lot of fun.
And she's now been able, because of an additional grant, to not only do education for children, but into the adult realm.
Oh, that's right. And thank you for reminding me of that, Rosemary. Janice Primozic came to us about 3 years ago and said, I've had a lot of experience. She has over 30 years experience of teaching tobacco cessation classes. And she has just really poured out her passion. And because of a grant, we were able to expand and create. We've always wanted this tobacco cessation program and to offer it. And just really never got it off the ground until Janice came to us. And so she's certified through the Mayo Clinic, and we are in the process of starting our 7th adult tobacco cessation program. On September 20th will be the 7th class that starts. They're held in the evening, and we also work with local businesses or anybody that's interested as a business that wants to offer this program to their employees. We will go into the business as well. We just had graduation yesterday evening for a local business that offered it to their employees, and are having us back for round 2 for another group later this fall.
What business was that?
So, Provoking Hope,
Okay.
right here in town, wanted to offer that to their local, to the people that work for them, and so we were able to come in and do that. It was a 6-week stint. Janice went in, and it starts off that in the very first week, we really want to talk to them what they're going to be experiencing, what they need to do to prepare.
Yeah.
And then we give them that time to prepare, and the statistics show that replacement therapies are more useful now than what in the past, when you were recommended to quit smoking, it was like cold turkey was the only way to go. And now the statistics really show that it's replacement therapies, so they need to have time to go and see their doctor.
And I'd like to put a plug out there because these classes are free. There's no cost to the individual to sign up for these courses. Your doctor can help you sign up. You can call Carrie and sign up through the Cancer Foundation. There is no cost. The groups are small, 5 to 10 people, and they're very, I don't want to use the word intimate, but they are. This is a tough habit to kick. It's an addiction. And so when you have other people who are going through the same thing that you are and are supportive of one another, it can make all the difference in the world. So we would encourage any business or any individual that would like to know more about this to give Carrie a call.
Well, this sounds like it's scientific, state-of-the-art
It is.
program. This isn't just, okay, we're going to try this out and see if it works. This is what,
It's a Mayo Clinic certified program taught by
Right
an
here.
instructor
With 30 years
locally
experience.
With 30 years experience. You can't
For
get
free.
better.
For free. And I want to add to that. I was just having a conversation with Janice about. She's like, Carrie, you need to. Do you know how our statistics have been so great? She goes, I've been teaching this for over 30 years, and I look at our statistics on the classes that we've had and our success rate. She said, I think it's because the classes are so small. It's because they are the smaller groups and the smaller settings, and these individuals get to know one another and can relate to what they're feeling when they're not smoking, and learning things that they come up with together about changing their behavior, or this worked for me, but this didn't work for me. I mean, they're able to help one another get through that struggle. And so it was just, I was really puzzled when she said that to me, because our success rate, we've only had in the last 6 classes that we've provided, we've only had just one individual unable to, go off, let's say go off the wagon, I guess that's for lack of better terms, and they relapsed. But,
doesn't mean they're finished, though.
No, it doesn't mean they're finished.
So out of these 6 classes you've had everyone be successful except for one.
And of course now that one's right back in the game.
Yeah.
But that's pretty phenomenal when you
All
look
right.
at.
So I think if people are listening right now that have been thinking about trying to stop smoking, what better opportunity would they have right now? One that works, that's free, it's taught by professionals, and from what I'm hearing, it's a very supportive environment. It's just as intimate, as close, and effective as it can be. So let's talk about the dates again and make this very real. It's September 20th.
Yep, the
That's
next
right.
upcoming class is September 20th, and it starts at 5:30 p.m., and the classes are held at the Cancer Center in the conference room there, right there at 2700 Southeast Stratus Avenue, Suite A.
So the Cancer Center is on the east side of the hospital.
Yes.
So you come in, drive around to the east side, find a place to park, and they can just walk in at 5 o'clock, was it?
And at
5:30.
5 o'clock, the parking places, so the patients have left for the day.
Yeah.
So there's ample parking that is
Okay.
literally steps away from the door.
What day of the week is that?
So
That's
it's a
Monday.
Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. Tuesday, September 20th at 5 o'clock.
And so on Tuesday, on September 20th, what that is that's going to be, that program will be about telling people what they need to do to get ready and to be able to come in and ask questions and prepare themselves.
An
It's
introduction.
An orientation.
To just kind of see if it's really what you want to do. It's not a
But
big commitment.
if they want to just simply call and talk to Carrie
Yes.
and just ask, tell me what it, is it
Yeah.
6 weeks long? Do I stop smoking day 1? Do I have an opportunity to get other types of support, meaning the chewing gum or the various aids? Just call and find out a little bit more about it, and then find a buddy.
Oh, to come with you.
Just like dieting,
Yeah.
practically. Find someone that if you are hesitant yourself,
Support, yep.
and you have a friend who's also trying to kick the habit,
Yeah.
hey, this is a great opportunity.
And how did this start? Where'd you get this idea?
Well, it's always been in the plan for the foundation to be able to offer this. When we we want to help families with our financial assistance program, but we want to give back to the community that gives to us. And looking at our children's education and that was going so well.
Well, it really, but I think where you're going is how did it begin?
Evolve.
Grant money that helped pay for the materials,
True.
and Janice, the instructor, who
Yeah.
stepped forward and volunteered.
So many things are personality driven. It's the
Put-
people that you
Put it
have.
together so that then we were able to actually launch it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, you've had it 6 times. It's successful. It's going to be ongoing for as long as people need it.
That's right.
And which brings, it's because the fact that more and more clients are becoming interested and wanting to participate. Volunteerism is a huge cornerstone of what we're able to do. And Janice, as an instructor, if she had interested volunteers who were willing to take some coursework with her so that they too could be instructors, would be just a great mentor if folks had an interest in that. And again, if you have the interest, this is the lady to call and she can connect you up.
So that was an invitation
That
to
is,
someone that wants to get trained and be part of helping people stop smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they would be someone that has stopped themselves. Maybe some of the graduates of this class, anyone that wants to
Yes.
volunteer.
It's a whole lot like when folks who have had an alcohol addiction have found the strength to no longer drink alcohol. It's almost a need to give back to others what they've learned, to help them make that same very brave movement away from something that's damaging to them.
All right. Well, I like the progression of going to the kids as young as they can pretty much understand, start talking to them about not getting started smoking in a very real and effective way, and how to not get cancer, how to not need the services, your assistance services, and then helping adults to stop. And I was reading some of the material. The results of stopping smoking happen almost immediately.
They do.
Within a couple of days, your taste and smell starts to come back.
You know, I'm a nurse by background.
Okay,
so I
tell
come
me-
from
you
the healthcare arena, and not all of your organs are capable of regenerating themselves. If you have a heart attack, you may get some of that muscle back, but likely not all of it. So by organ, it's different, but the lung, if you stop smoking, can regenerate almost completely. So if you've got COPD, it can go away.
Wow.
If you've got other lung asthma or other problems, they can be hugely diminished, if not completely obliterated. So, boy,
It makes a
we don't
difference.
get that many chances in our body to have that kind of recovery occur because of an effort on our parts.
Well, I'm just seeing this as a shining star of opportunity in our community. I just think it's fantastic. Well, I'd like to spend a little time talking about the other piece of the foundation, so people just are aware of what another large part of your work is. And that's for cancer patients. And you've talked a little bit about going through it, living it. It's very hard, and they need support. Let's talk about that support, that very real support that you give.
So let's talk about geography first.
Okay.
We're a fairly good-sized foundation, but our board wanted to definitely make sure that we put our local needs first. So as you said earlier, if you have live in Tillamook, Lincoln, or Yamhill County, you would qualify for financial assistance if you met certain criteria.
As a cancer treatment
Right.
patient, whether you went to the Willamette Hospital
Your treatment
or
can
not.
be anywhere. It can
Yes.
be the Mayo Clinic, MD Anderson, it can be anywhere. But if you've lived in those 3 counties and you need assistance, then you would be eligible to put in a application for review.
To the foundation.
We have had now in the 12 years of the Cancer Foundation assisting clients, we have helped almost 550 clients to the tune of over $800,000. So the resources are there if you need them, and we want to get them to you. And we have a network of amazing people in not only the medical profession, but other not-for-profits throughout the state, really, mostly in those 3 counties, that send candidates to us so that we can get their applications in work. And it's important to note that the grants, the patients that receive dollars, don't receive dollars. What they receive is a gas card if they need gas. Their landlord gets a rent payment if they're not able to pay for their rent, a grocery credit card to a local grocery store if they're having trouble meeting their needs from the standpoint of just having adequate food and nutrition. So once we know what you need, then we work directly with the agency or organization that can provide that to you. Not a dime goes to pay a hospital bill or a doctor bill. That's not what the doctors and I wanted when we started this. This is for the unique needs of the individual as it pertains to their financial needs.
It can be insurance payments, health insurance.
Co-pays. I pay health insurance premiums, health insurance COBRAs. Like I said, co-pays. It could be co-pays for doctor's appointments, or it could be co-pays for their prescriptions.
Sometimes when you are in a long period of time where you're under therapy, you can't work. So your insurance lapses or can lapse. If you're not able to meet your premiums, the Cancer Foundation would cover those premium costs until you're able to get back to work or find a different source of insurance. So there's all kinds of ways.
And there's also a lag when OHP will start to
You're absolutely correct.
be effective, so you'll be paying insurance premiums up
We can
until
do that.
then.
We want them to get their treatment. We want them to be able to seek out that treatment, focus on that, and then we can help with those everyday expenses while they're focusing on their treatment and getting well.
Now, Carrie, you say we, and I don't think you're taking this out of your wallet. So let's talk about where all this money comes from and how that happens. $800,000 has been raised
Right.
to help people in our community.
And we raise in excess of $100,000 a year. And a
How do you
small
do that?
portion of those funds recently have become as a result of grants to various foundations that our mission meets their criteria. And thus far, there's been about $20,000 we've raised in grants. That goes to educational programs.
Okay.
That's specific to educational programs. The rest of those dollars are raised from you and me and
Through the events that we have.
And the biggest event is this. Do you know what barium is?
I do. I have never tasted it, but I do know what it is,
So
unfortunately.
years and years ago, the radiology department at the hospital sponsored what was called the Barium Cup. That is our sick sense of humor in the hospital world of making light of a particular radiology procedure that wasn't all that
Where you
pleasant.
drink the barium
That's
so the
correct.
x-rays can see what's going on
That's
as it
right,
goes
that's
down.
right. So
yeah.
the Barium Cup was generated years ago as kind of an in-hospital fun event for people who played golf to get together and do. Once the foundation was created, we stole the Barium Cup name, and we said, this would be a phenomenal way to pull members of the community into a fun event that wasn't a dinner, that wasn't a dance, that wasn't an auction, but something physical to do, and raise some funds.
So on September 26th at Michael Book Country Club, we'll be having our 14th annual Barium Cup Golf Classic, and you can just give us a call at the foundation, and we can get you registered.
And this is your big fundraiser.
This is
is
our
your
big
annual
fundraiser.
fundraiser where you raise this $100,000 a year.
Well, we
to-
raised much of it, but not
Much
all
of
of it. The
And-
rest of the funding, sorry, go ahead.
Well, we only got about 15 seconds. Say the date again and the time. How does-
September 26th at Michael Book, and it will be, registration starts at 9:30 in the morning. We tee off at noon.
So you don't have to bring your own clubs. You've got some there.
No, you'll need to bring
Bring
your
your
own
own
clubs.
clubs.
Yep,
Okay.
bring your own
But the
gear.
registration pays for the golf cart, for the green fees, and there's
Lunch,
a lovely
dinner.
lunch that goes with it as well as a dinner.
It's
So,
a whole day of activity.
yeah,
it's
and there'll be
lot
a
of fun.
celebrity there.
Our
And this year's
celebrity
celebrity
is
is
Michael Levaye Spanky with the
catcher.
1987 Golden Glove Award, the catcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
All right. Well, I think you've done a great job of telling the community about what you do and how important it is and how many opportunities there are that the Willamette Cancer Foundation puts on. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank
delighted
you,
to be
Ken.
here.
Thank you.